I have one quick housekeeping thing, a little trick that I learned recently that I wanted to show off to you guys, and hopefully will be useful to everyone. Um, so you notice this is a little map with that's dark lighting. So don't move your tokens, but you can each see your token in your vision. If you select your token, actually, Jensen, I think it looks best if you do it. If you select your token, you'll see in the top left, you now have a couple extra buttons, not just fumble and initiative, but you have torch off, torch on. Go ahead and click torch on. Yeah, and everyone see how that changes?
Oh, yeah.
And then torch off, torch on. We can all now be the human torch. It will screw up your default vision if you have like dark vision or like Dimitri in your case, Matilda has like 30 feet. I think like 15 feet bright and 15 feet dim. But no matter. But I thought that was a really, I mean, like the little token thing is cool, but I've known it seems like dragging along with your character token can sometimes be annoying. So now this is a good way for you guys to control whether or not you have a torch lit.
Huh. That's really awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool. You know, minus the inherent benefit us piddly ass humans got from you know, not always having to enforce the light rules. So
yeah, the guy that used it was using it for like a I can't think of I can't say the word very well, but the Slulu game. But like he had like angled like real flashlights, so you're only getting like a 70 degrees angle and stuff on his lights, which is awesome. But torches is 360. But maybe one day I'll play around with that more. I wanted to show that off, and hopefully it's useful. But yeah, let's get into our recaps.
also, if you see in the chat, there's also an RE button for a random encounter, which I incidentally clicked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. I forgot I had done that.
This guy's own genius.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, we now have a random encounter button too. D20 works totally fine too, but yeah, I totally forgot I had made that. That looks nice too.
I think it's because you can't really use the random encounter thing when you're on the big travel map because we don't have our tokens out there.
Yeah, it's a token action, so we don't have the. Yeah, I might just take that off. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, but yeah, you're right. Whenever we would use it, we don't have access to our tokens. But yeah, let's get into our recaps. Tonight, let's kick off things with Winrel.
Okay, so we ended up surviving the onslaught of the twigs. So once that happened, we kind of went through the house somewhat respectively, and Winrail ended up with one bottle of each of the three wines that were remaining. I don't think we found much else of consequence other than the fact that most of the wine, had been spoiled, was lost. Upon speaking with the druids, we found out that they had like 3 magical shards that, when planted, is what allowed them to grow the grapes and make the wine. And they kind of told us at least where they thought 2 of them might have gone. One to some crazy witch that does puppetry, and the other to these people up on the hill. So we ended up following them, going to the hill, finding Strahd, stopping his ritual, and ticking him off.
Yeah, we ticked him off indeed. And yeah, thank you for recapping. That was pretty efficient.
Well, I figured I'd screw everyone over for once, since Dimitri always screws us all over.
Yeah. The magic seeds that bloomed, that make the Wizard of Wine vineyard bloom, have all been lost. What we'll do about that? Maybe we'll find one. Um, thank you, Enro. Go ahead and take your inspiration, and let's see who's next. Next will be Dimitri. So after she screwed you over, go ahead and continue.
Yeah, she covered a lot. Uh, crap. Yeah. So we did stop the ritual. It looked like they had like this big Strahd type, you know, statue, whatever. Not statue. But like, yeah. Anyway, this big Strahd visage that was like glowing and pulsing, and they were chanting, and Strahd kept telling us to not, you know, not kill the druids, and Serena, I think, took out like the last, I think almost all of them, pretty much. She was just killing it. And then Strahd seemed very upset that we ended this ritual because I think he said something about it was going to be fun, and you know he wanted to see what fun would happen. Yeah, and then he sounded pissed and said that I think he actually said like we're gonna pay, like someone's gonna pay for it. So it's been a week of just going like, I wonder who it's gonna be. Yeah, other than that, we ended it with Strahd, uh, you know, getting ready to take revenge for ruining his fun. Elward is held. Dimitri's gun is jailed. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, pretty rough circumstances. You guys did a really good job at taking those druids down. Yeah, and those poison arrows were tough. But I feel like if Pooh Bear and Tigger and Piglet rose up and kind of ruined Christopher Robin's fun, that's how we could describe Strahd right now and his feelings towards you guys. His toys have revolted, and he has to teach him who's the toy master. Thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration, and we'll see you next.
We're gonna be Woody and all the other broken toys against Sid.
That's a much more fun analogy and more realistic. Pooh and Tigger and Piglet would never revolt. Next, Jensen, if you don't mind continuing our recaps.
Main story plot wise, I think we're pretty well covered. Kind of fun. Let's see. After going on a wine bender through the search of the house post the Wizard of Wine's vineyard, Winrow, upon finding the three bottles, did toss one to Jensen, so he's currently hoarding a bottle of. I wrote it down. I think it was the number 9. I thought it was great number 9. So he's kind of.
So some purple grape smash number 9, or the red dragon crush.
Yeah, I've got the purple grape smash number 9. And let's see. Also, kind of a fun moment with Serena and Jensen fighting the twigs. Serena running up and getting a killing blow on the last remaining druid, and after from 2 sessions ago, after her comment of saying that she wanted us to Dimitri and I to quote unquote save some for her, her finally getting some of her just desserts. And yeah, the encounter with Strahd, that one is but lot of mixed emotions there, a lot of, as much of a, whatever police or Law and Order or Grey's Anatomy type drama cliffhanger you want to pick. We kind of had that season finale cliffhanger, and now we get to kind of come back to and see what's going to go on. So Very curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, the finale will be had. Whether it be an end in tears or joy, maybe a bit of both. Yeah, I think you guys worked really well with that combat up until Strahd's interference. But thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration. And last tonight, if you don't mind closing us out, Elward.
Yeah, my story's covered. I guess it's always up to me to talk about character development, I guess. A huge boon in the campaign that Elward and Dimitri was on the same page. And also a few lines in the sand were kind of been made by Winrow and Serena, and then Dimitri and Elward, as we were split on either going back to Craig or helping the druids out and protecting them. So interesting to see, but not all decisions have been good decisions from both sides. We had burgomasters killed and then taken over by cults, and yelling at cult leaders to getting us captured and getting disfigured. But some at least now I'm starting to make a little bit of headway about making decisions at the party, but I still have a long way to go. But till then, we're still a well-oiled machine. Up until Dimitri shot at Strahd, that was silly. But he did warn us that he was going to do something stupid, and I did say there's no such thing as doing something stupid. But then he did that, and then that was stupid. To Elward, not to Pike.
But then he did that, and then Elward is like, shit.
Yeah, can't wait to see what goes on now. Like I said, I'm very much in touch with Elward's character and backstory and stuff, but my new character's pretty sick too. So can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I think those are excellent points. We're kind of, there's definitely some cracks that we're seeing in the party decision-making process for sure. Second guessing, because a lot of those decisions we made in Vallaki turned out pretty rough. And yeah, we had to literally go to majority rules, and it was a 3-2 split for what we were going to do next. And both had consequences, both had pros and cons. And we kind of had to determine a fair way of of choosing our path. But we find ourselves where we're at, and we have to go with it. Thank you. Go ahead and take your inspiration, and we'll get into it. Does anyone have any questions before we move back into our session? All right. We return to the top of Yester Hill, within the Druid Circle.
Oh, real quick, sorry, Lennon. Well, what's the Serena situation? Are you controlling her?
I'll control her for now. Yeah. I got a breakdown from Matt of how she would behave in this situation, so I'll control her for now.
Gotcha.
I got her character sheet up and
Okay, cool.
everything. So we return to the top of Yester Hill, inside the Druid Sickle. The effigy is lifeless. The pulsating drumming that was coming alongside the Druid chants has died down. You see kind of the tendrils that were wrapping themselves around this large effigy, kind of subsiding and retreating deeper across the hill. But Strahd is flying, hovering above you, about 40 feet. Still wild berserkers raging in your face. Dimitri, you're the first to go. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to try and unjam my gun. So I'll use action to do that.
It's like a DC 12, I think. Yeah, you passed.
Then I'll Shit.
That was your action.
Yeah. I'm going to. I guess I'll action surge then.
Yeah, you smack out kind of the blown up bit of homemade silver bullet, and Matilda's ready to go again.
And yeah, well, no, Strahd just threatened us, so let's take some shots at Strahd.
Threaten's taken lightly. The man just dropped the fireball on us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, how high is he in the air?
About 40 feet.
40 feet.
The last thing was Elward and Jensen. Jensen and yeah, Strahd would have dropped the fireball on your turn. So a few people had turns after the fireball. Serena, Winrel, and Jensen. The rest were held, or Elward was held. But yeah, he's floating up 40 feet above you. I haven't moved the token, but he's like directly above you.
Oh, directly above? All right, 40
Yeah.
feet. Good. He's within range. Let's do this. Screw it. Yeah.
Woo! You fire out Matilda. The silver bullet streaks into Strahd's shoulder, and you see like it enter his shoulder, and then pass out, and the wound instantly closes up.
These are still silver bullets. I'm just saying.
Indeed.
Oh damn! All right. I'll just do another one. Well, even
no.
that out.
Roll your crit. Oh, misfire first.
No, luck it. At least it's not
a misfire.
And then that's it. And then that's my turn. I'm out of luck points. I'll second wind as a bonus action, and then that's my turn.
The berserker. Oh, these guys still are here. Yeah, there's still a few of them kind of raging haphazardly up in the front lines with Jensen and Winrel. The nearest one is gonna. Let's see who he swings at. I was gonna swing at you, Winrel. Swings with advantage.
Oh wait, let's try to make a concentration check.
Didn't take any damage.
Ooh.
Thank you, though.
Silver and magic?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Why does he have advantage? Sorry.
He attacks recklessly, kind of like a barbarian
okay.
thing. 18 to hit that's just a hit for it looks like 3 total slashing damage on you, Winrel.
Okay.
The other two are both swinging at Jensen.
Sorry, can I take on the one that struck Windmill? Can I take a Sentinel?
Oh yeah, go for it. Your reaction. He slices into Winrel with just a little cut, and you just lob into him with a pretty heavy cut.
Huzzah!
He's looking pretty rough. The other two that are still alive are going to swing recklessly at you, Jensen, so this is an advantage. One will hit for 6 slashing. No, 3 slashing, sorry. So many heavy armors.
Yep, it's all good.
And then we find ourselves with the Count. He grimaces.
Can I talk to Strahd on his turn, or do I have to wait for my turn?
No, any turn. Yeah, speaking is
Right.
free.
Strahd, I understand you're furious we ruined your plans, but I have a small token for you, and I'll hold up the what is it, DeBlanc champagne stuff. Please know that we did not come here to stop your ritual. We actually came here to recover an item that could help produce the wine that you desire for your wedding. And I'll toss it like straight up to him.
Oh, as you toss it up, it catches his eye, and he streaks down with Bucephalus, and he tries to snatch it.
Oh yeah, I was tossing it like to him.
Okay, yeah. If you're gonna be gentle about it, he'll get close, he catches his eye. And you see him like catch what he was going to say a bit, and his kind of stern grimace turns a bit, and he smiles as the champagne reaches into it, kind of hits the palm of his hand. Oh, why? This is good news.
Yes.
A bit
So
of
in a
fun
way,
then.
you sent us here. It's the last remaining bottle of the Chateau de Blanc. If we cannot obtain more for your wedding, I hope you'll at least enjoy this.
Yes. Those that come, though, will have to survive a trial. A trial by fire. And he drops a fireball. As he kind of clutches the champagne. He'd cast it that way. Looking at DC 18.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I was gonna say use my thingy, but it's okay.
It is 36 fire damage on a fail. You notice that the fire doesn't seem to affect Strahd nor Bucephalus at all. Strahd's rolls are being whispered, by the way, so you'd see what is happening if you watch the video. Okay. So it's 36 total damage.
Still up, but barely.
Looks like Elward and Winrel went down. As he kind of looks at the champagne in his hand and looks at the fallen body of Winrel, and then over at the body of Elward. Well, perhaps this is the time. I'm gonna roll a little check real fast. Oh, interesting. Doesn't seem like he cares that much about either.
Guess we're not comfortable. A word.
Strahd floats with Bucephalus over to Elward's body, his fallen corpse. Do you want to take attacks of opportunity? Jensen and looks like Dimitri as well.
I mean, is he going over to Elward to do something?
As he moves over to Elward, you see Bucephalus like raising his hoofs up.
Yeah, so I'm gonna burn my GM inspiration to attack with attack of opportunity with advantage.
Yeah, go for it. Okay, cool.
You know,
do you have what's Sentinel do?
And that will prevent him. That'll drop his movement speed. I guess I'd have to aim for the horse, right? Because the horse is moving, not him, technically, right?
Yeah.
So I guess I would have to aim for the horse to prevent the horse from moving.
You can attack either, but yeah, it would.
Okay.
The horse is the one moving.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I'd probably aim for the horse since he's flying all around. So I'd aim for the horse to prevent him from moving in this scenario.
So it gets you probably about here, just outside your range, and you slice into Bucephalus for a good bit.
I don't have any weapons up besides my gun, so I really can't do attacks of opportunity. I could punch, but judging by the fact that my gun did nothing to Strahd, I don't think my punch is going to do anything to the horse. So.
Okay, and the horse is going to kind of went to stomp, and as it gets pulled short, just kind of stomps into the ground short of Elward. Strahd looks back towards the rest of you. Well, you've survived for a moment longer. Serena has got her bow drawn back, and she kind of takes a few steps back, maybe dragging Elward with her. And then fires her bow at Strahd. 25 is a hit. And then she was using poison arrows. Where is the wyvern? He's going to choose to save. You see this arrow kind of strike into Strahd, and he just like yanks it out, sniffs the poison, and drops it to the ground. Still looks unharmed. He fires again. She fires again. This time missing. Winrel, I need a death saving throw, please. That's a success. One success. Unfortunately, that's all you can do in your turn. Elward, I need a death saving throw from you as well. That is also a save. And that's all you can do in your turn as well. Jensen, becomes your turn.
Alright, I will bonus action second wind. Oh, I guess second wind doesn't actually work when you click on it. I guess let's use hit the. What the what? That's not right. Why does it think my D4 is a 1D4?
They updated the sheets. They updated the sheets. You'll have to like underneath your hit dice on your core tab, you'll see like D4 where you normally roll for hit dice. I'll just update that to a D10.
Oh, okay. I was like, what am I, a wizard? This is bullshit.
Nice.
All right, great. So I'll happily take that 13. See, I'm gonna move. So I played one-handed here, so I moved one-handed, left-handed. So it's movement's a little. I get an additional +2 fire. Oh yeah, you're right. It's one. Yeah, it did one. It did plus. Well, it should be +3 because I'm level 6. So I get an extra 3 there, which I'll add because you never know. Might make the. All right, so bonus action, second wind, action. I will run up to Strahd.
As you move out of the berserkers, they're all going to swing at you.
Yep.
None breaking through your armor.
Haha. So as I feel the love pats on my back, I'll charge Strahd, giving him kind of one of those Strahd, and then I will strike twice or swing twice.
Nice. Let's see.
Sorry, those shouldn't have been an advantage. It should be an 11 and a 20, but the 11 I can add a precision strike to.
Well, even with so if hit the 11 and 20, the first one misses. No need to roll. The second one gets closer. Do you want to use a superior on the first one?
You said the first one was going to miss either way. Or?
Yeah. And
okay. Yeah, okay.
The second one gets close, you see Strahd kind of wave his hand, and a magical force field blocks off your halberd. Do you want to try Security on the second one?
Yeah, I'll blow another one here. So low.
23. Let me double check. That becomes a hit. And at this strike, you see you cut into Strahd just a bit, and you see some blood, some dark, very violet, almost scarlet-colored blood drip from the wound. He grimaces.
And I'll kind of cock my head a little bit and look down at my blade and look up at him and be like, "You can bleed." And then I'll end my turn there.
At the end of your turn, you see Strahd is going to use a legendary action. And he's going to return that blow as he tries to strike out at you. He's going to hit you, Jensen, for 22 damage. 23 damage. Some of that being necrotic.
Okay. Is any of it non-elemental? Is any of it like piercing, slashing, blood?
Yeah, it is bludgeoning. Some of it's bludgeoning, and it's just his fist. So let me read count. Minus 3, 19. 19
Okay.
Total damage.
Perfect. Thanks.
Your turn, Dimitri.
Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna just I'll pull out my dagger of venom, and I'm not sure. I can't do anything to him like Jensen did. I'm not sure if I. I'm gonna try and get in front of, just like swing around in front of, Strahd, kind of in between him and Elward and Serena. Like I know they can fly. I'm gonna take 2 shots at the horse, Cephalus, with my gun and stab at him with the dagger.
Cool. You're gonna all attacks aimed at Cephalus, right?
At the horse, yeah. Disadvantage, so it's 13. And, oh my god, it's jammed. I can't do anything about that.
13 is a hit, actually.
Oh shit, alright, so it takes 7 and then it jams.
Then it jams. And bonus action?
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do the dagger.
19 is a hit.
Just for 4, because I don't have the poison on it.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, that's it.
At the end of your turn, Strahd is gonna smack into Jensen once again. You dare touch me! It just became French. That one is gonna be a miss as he tries to smack you again. Berserker's turn. Yeah, Strahd kind of barks a command at them, and in fact, let's see. I'm gonna give them wisdom saves to see if they'll listen, because they're all raging. No, they fall for it. They have no willpower of their own. This is my fun. You will back off. You have failed me tonight. And you see the berserkers kind of whimper and begin to cow down a bit. At the end of their turn, once he's going to use another legendary action and try to smack you again. Jensen. 17 is a
just a miss.
Miss. All right. So he's going to use his turn. Well, this is not what I was hoping for, but it looks like you. Well, let's see. Let me give him another check. Oh, he is incredibly insulted by your actions, Jensen. Is super insulted. Maybe he didn't care about anything that had happened before, but this aggression towards him, the drawing blood for the first time in who knows how long, has really struck a chord with him. He leans down and he kind of points a finger off Bucephalus. You are not invited to our wedding. And you see kind of this dark necrotic energy streak from his finger straight towards your body. I need a I need, I believe, a Constitution saving throw, Jensen.
You can have my advantage, Jensen.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I was gonna say yes, I am under 100 hit points.
Nice use of your inspiration. So you take half damage. As you take necrotic, you take let's see, 19 necrotic damage.
Ah, damn. Still just enough.
When it takes you to 0, does that? Oh no, you're good. As Jensen falls to the ground, you see the nightmare kind of stomp into him. At advantage, so it'll be 1 death save. Oh, no, it'll be 2 death saves. I'm sorry, Jensen.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. It should crit, right? Yeah, so it crits.
Serena sees what's going on. Feels a bit helpless. Perhaps I can save one of them. And is going to try to stabilize you, Elward, as he drags you back. And does. You're no longer dying, Elward. She's going to drag you back 15. At the end of her turn, Strahd is going to smack into you kind of with his foot. Once more, Jensen, unfortunately.
Das Boot. Das Boot.
Das Boot. As he smacks his boot heel into your face, the cowl comes off your face, and you see the mottled, scarred, charred face. It's like all of the life force that left there is dissolved as the face comes soft once again, and the dying gasp comes out of Jensen. Winrel, it is your turn.
Okay.
I need a saving throw, death saving throw. Oh, that's 2 failures.
Oh, shit.
1 success and 2 failures. At the end of your turn,
Ouch.
you see Strahd kind of pull out a parcel. This is for the champagne, and this has been enough fun for tonight. And about 12 new moons, we shall have some more fun. And you see him stride up into the air. He flies 90 feet beyond your vision into the mist.
All right.
But we have to stay in combat because we're not all dead. As you kind of see the parcel hit the ground, Dimitri, looks like a red-colored potion as well as a enclosed envelope. Elward, it is your Sable. You can roll a d4 for me, Elward. You're out for 4 hours. Jensen, I'm so sorry. Do you have any dying words as you kind of get that last gasp out?
Yeah, I think for whoever is, I guess maybe Dimitri would have heard it. Just whisper as Jensen kind of falls to his knees, and you see the halberd fall from his hand, and just as he's kind of going down and the mask tumbles off, you feel like you see his lips move almost inaudibly, but you just barely hear the words. You just barely hear the word Jared and sorry, as his eyes just kind of glaze over and stare off into the dirt earth.
We have the final word from Jensen. Dimitri, it becomes your turn as you see your friend die before your eyes. What do you do?
Oh man, I gotta. Would there be any way that I know if that's a good or bad potion?
Not on the fly. You can use your action if you want.
Oh, someone's going down. No, because I needed an action to, pour
and
it on
adhere it, yeah, administer it as well.
Ah, shit. And there's 3 berserkers left, or my gun's jammed. This is no bueno. All right, you wanna know what? Times are looking dire. I think Dimitri would just grab it and hope for the best. And run over to Widrell and apply the potion.
Roll 2d4 plus 2.
Really hope it's healing.
And that is the poison damage. No. It was not a potion.
Oh man, that would have been amazing.
Winrel, you heal 8 healing, and you wake up on the ground, breathing once again.
And then I'll kind of grab her and pull her half my movement, like 5 feet away from the berserkers. That's all I got left. And then just get ready. Just have my dagger of venom out, and that's about all I could do.
As you in your turn, a strike of lightning hits into the black boulders once more. The berserkers kind of turn and begin to sprint towards the south. We're going to give chase.
No.
Everyone okay with that?
Yes.
And thus ends combat, our first real encounter with Strahd.
Winrell's gonna like dive onto Jensen and try to cast Spare the Dying.
Your cantrip comes out, and you know the magic has power behind it, but you don't see any change in the complexion or kind of the life that you can see within a person. It's just cold death upon Jensen's face.
And she'll frantically
Charging battery.
try a healing word as well, saying, like, Jensen, it can't be. We have to find Jared.
Your magic comes out once again, but it's on deaf ears, dead ears.
And so she'll just kind of sit there.
I'm gonna kneel down next to Jensen and Winrell and like put my hand on Jensen's chest, just kind of somberly, and then I want to respectfully check his belongings to see if he has like something for his brother, like see if there's like a note or anything, something that for if we do find his brother.
Yeah, would he find anything on you, Jensen?
He wouldn't find anything written. He would find around his neck just a simple silver chain with a carved what looks like a very crudely carved medallion on it. It's in a language you don't recognize. And then you'd also find in his in his bag just insignia of a military from you think is like a low level like lieutenant or something like that.
All right. Yeah, I'll grab those 2 things, and just kind of place them in one of my like inner coat pockets, and then just kind of like tap lightly on, like put my hand on his chest, and then kind of tap lightly and like kind of sigh somberly, and then head over to where the what's it called, the statue of the Strahd figure was.
Yeah, as you stride over there, we'll take a second as we move back to Jensen. Jensen, you feel the pain of the last blow still stinging on your face as you begin to feel yourself almost cough and choke on dirt in your mouth, and then heavy hands gripping your shoulders, yanking you out of the earth as you find yourself in a large cemetery atop a massive hill. You see spirits and ghosts lined up for miles and miles down a lengthy path, all leading into one massive, beautiful stone tomb. It doesn't seem like any are entering. Maybe you see the first one in line kind of bump into it and not able to move on and shake his head in dismay. You see an old, kind of a spiritual image of an old friend, an old adventurer, an old party mate. You, you see Aliquin as she pulls you out of the earth. Jensen, I was worried it would be one of you. It looks like we're stuck here for now. And with that, we'll go back to the Yester Hill. Yeah, so sorry, Jensen, but I guess that's what happens when we incur the wrath of Strahd. But yeah, feel free to stories back in your hands, guys.
Is there anything that looks like the gem that the Mardukov was talking about
As you
over here?
Yeah, as you kind of examine this massive effigy that looked like Strahd maybe once, it seems to be crumbling a bit. You see the last tendrils, this black kind of oozing vines slithering their way out of the statue and proceeding towards the south. But as the last little bit of tendril, the whole thing comes crashing down to the ground, and you see what might have been perched just in the center, in the chest cavity of this effigy, is a large green gemstone about the size of a pine cone. And I have a handout for you. I think I do. I'll find it. I'll find it, but feel free to go on as I look for it.
All right. Yeah.
And so I'll take his weapon.
Yeah, you'll find the halberd so kind of very symbolically, blade like kind of partially sticking into the ground, kind of standing straight up, just like next to my.
I'll take it and I'll just say for Jared to Jensen.
Indeed, a serious memento for our fallen comrade. That is what the magic gem looks like.
Yeah. I'll grab it and throw it into my bag. Then head back.
I'm gonna move us back to the bigger map of Yester Hill. We find ourselves up here on the very perch of this massive hill. The misty wall still to our west. You see the burial cairns lined all around, and this dark grove of trees to our south. So kind of you see maybe in the distance, you've got pretty decent vision, Dimitri. Maybe you see the berserkers kind of flee, not into the grove of trees. They seem to take a wide berth of it and down to the south towards like the cairns down there, and then on out of your vision.
Do you think they avoid this grove of trees here?
They did. They did.
All right. I'm not. We got what we came for. unfortunately lost Jensen. I'm not going any further. Well, it doesn't. How long did it take us to get down here?
It was a little over a day to get to Yester Hill from the vineyard. Not very long to get to the hill. Just a little portion of the part of the day.
So I would like to bury Jensen before we move on.
I was about to say to Winrell that doesn't feel right. That's the wrong voice. It doesn't feel right to leave him on this hill.
No?
Perhaps we can. I mean, we already have to wait for Elwood to wake up. But maybe we can at least bring his body back to the vineyard, which is a place a bit nicer than this Karen.
Well, he did like wine.
He did.
So we're gonna kind of take a rest and wait for Elward to wake up and recover.
Yeah, and I'll it takes. How long was it gonna take? Like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Yeah, I mean during that time, is there like with the effigy is there things to build like a small like stretcher type thing to put Jensen on?
Yeah, there's plenty of splintered wood from the collapsed effigy.
Yeah, I'd like throw one of those together, and then with the remaining time, like actually take a short rest.
Yeah, you guys totally can. You can bunker down and take a short rest. Let's see. Let me just roll real fast. So I believe maybe Dimitri, and both Serena and Dimitri would notice this. I think Serena has pretty good passive perception, but definitely you, Dimitri. Um, as you're kind of bundling down and maybe building the putting together a bit of a makeshift carrying utility for Jensen, you see almost like a little bush move at the corner, the south corner of the rock circle, and then it gets a bit closer, and it looks like a collection of small little twigs that are animated. And as you kind of look up and see them, they immediately scatter and move back towards the south. But they don't seem to bug you. You can successfully have a short rest. Did you want to take a look at the envelope that was in the parcel as well that Strahd dropped?
Yeah, definitely.
As you open it up, you see the signet of the Strahd von Zarevich, and this is what it says. Can you read it out loud for me, please?
Says, "My friends, know that it is I who have brought you to this land, my home, and know that I alone can release you from it. I bid you dine at my castle so that we can meet in civilized surroundings. Your passage here will be a safe one. I await your arrival. Your host, Strahd von Zarevich."
Clearly, the letter looks like it's been written for some time, almost as he was waiting for the right moment to give to you all. But you now have an invitation to dine with the Count. Well, 4 of you do.
Honestly, I'm inclined to go. We're just gonna I mean, you saw him. I don't know how many allies we can get, but it's not going to make a difference.
We have to. Yes, but you saw what happened. If we go now, we're all going to end up like Jensen, and then we're all going to be trapped here, like just like all the other souls that try and escape. You were there when we watched the. When we were watching Ismark's house the first night, and we saw all those souls. There's a reason they all marched to Strahd's castle.
Yeah.
If we
I
go,
want it's just us and Serena, right? Right now.
Right, Elward's passed out.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Who was it that you saw that night?
that was it was someone very close to me. Why she had never been here before, but I don't know why I saw her here, but I feel like she's trapped here now too.
Hmm. So you're not aware she ever came here?
No, I know she never came here. She it was my wife, or at least the spirit of my wife. It was a while ago. I used to have a shop back in Waterdeep, and I did tinkering. I fixed things. I wasn't rich, but I was well off, and I had a wife and daughter. And one day I got a random, just a parcel from someone with some blueprints for these strange new weapons, and I started messing around with it and seeing what I could do, seeing how these blueprints worked and how these things worked. Um, and then one night there was a break-in in my shop. We lived above it, and I went down to see what it was. It was a thief trying to scare him out. I wasn't completely inept, but for the whatever was in my shop that night was no just mere human. Even though he looked like it, he had fangs, and he quickly dispatched of me, and I passed out for quite a while. And when I woke up, my shop, my shop was tossed, and everything was thrown about, and my wife and daughter were upstairs in the living space, dead when I woke up. And so no, she did not come here and die.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I have a wife as well. That's why I'm trying to get out of here. What were your wife and daughter's names?
My daughter's name was Matilda, and my wife's name was Aquila.
Oh, beautiful. I'll keep them in my prayers.
Thank you. And I want to help. I do want to help you get out of here, just as I want to help everybody get out of here. But I do think going to face Strahd now, even if he says that we have a safe travels to his castle, we're in no shape at all to fight him. He took us out quite handily. I mean, and we hadn't really taken much hits from that fight. I feel like we were still fairly fresh, and I mean, I shot him with like dead on, and it didn't even deal any damage. The only person to deal any damage was Jensen.
I have no plans to fight him if we accept the invitation.
Why do you think he would just let us out?
I'm not sure I do. I just think it's our best chance. So, I'm from Waterdeep also. I'm surprised we never met before. What was the name of your shop?
It is a good question. That is a part of the backstory that my creator didn't come up with. It is. It's like
Perhaps a old Zoblob shop?
we let's call it you know, Dimitri's odds and ends. Oh, delicates. That's cool. I feel like odds and ends is a bit better. Just more of what I actually sold is just like it's just like a.
Well, I never heard of it, but my wife and we spend a lot of time out volunteering, helping the people. Maybe you met my wife. Her name is Eloquent.
The Aliquin?
Yes, Eloquent. Yes, that's her name.
Well, I did not meet an Aliquin in Waterdeep, but I did meet an Aliquin when I first started to come to Barovia.
I don't understand.
Well, Jensen, his brother Jared, myself, Elward, and Aliquin all were at we all by chance met each other at a tavern called the Half Pint Tavern, and we just started talking, and we realized that our paths were heading in about the same direction, and we all got a letter from what said the burgomaster of Barovia, and that was where we were all going. So we all traveled. Our first day in Barovia, we entered in this house that there were two children outside of the house saying they needed help. So we ran in, and it turned out to be some sort of nightmare trap. I don't know how to describe it. But yes, no. Aliquin never made it out of the house. There was this terrible beast that grabbed her as we were trying to leave, and as we all it grabbed her as we all left, and we turned around to try and grab her again, and all the house itself shut up, the windows and doors, and we couldn't help her.
That that couldn't be. Why would she be here? Why would she want to come here?
I mean, it might not be your Aliquin.
Uh, James. James was her name. She was a cleric. Is a cleric still at the church.
Yes, well, it's he is so lost for words now. Like, this is well, yes, I can't remember if this Aliquin was a cleric or not.
Oh,
I don't remember her last name either. I just remember it was an Aliquin. It wasn't. I mean, so it could still be. She's
what did
probably.
she look like?
She was. Can't remember. Okay. She was. Quite. She was a good height for a female. She had fair skin and black hair. I'm just going off of the picture that is with Aliquin, so yeah, she had light skin and black hair. She was quite serious most of the time.
So Winrell will just fall to her knees and like cover her face.
I won't say anything, but I'll go over and put a hand on her like back shoulder.
Okay, and this hill, are we 400 feet in the air?
Oh, elevation wise, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just like I'll like stand up and kind of like stumble towards the edge, and I'll like half roll, half like run down the whole hill, so probably taking a fair amount of damage.
You'll try to like roll down like over the boulders, and then down like the side of the hill.
Yeah, but I'll have spent my hit dice before this, so let me just see. Well, since we were westing.
As you step upon the black boulder, that's kind of forming this druided circle, kind of looking down, maybe towards the misty wall that shone an ancient castle with beautiful church bells ringing. What you see before you through the mist is a beautiful picture on a beautiful spring day of Waterdeep. The seagulls kind of calling as the port town is lively. You see the church that you and Aliquin had served at. Just for a moment, you hear the laughter, and then it goes away and it's just mist once more. But as you step on the black boulder, roll a D100 for me, please. Yeah, Aliquin did check. She found snakes in fireplaces.
Yeah, she saved all your asses from those snakes.
Yeah, she did.
I to roll my hit die, what am I at 8? Is that right?
D8, yeah.
As a cleric? Okay. Let me just roll those right quick before I go towering down the hill. Assuming we would get a rest by now, if it's your call.
Yeah, you guys can have the short rest for sure. So feel free to roll your hit dice. As you guys do so, Winrel and Dimitri, you can each take 400 experience for that roleplay. And Jensen, Strahd was totally going to try to kill Elward, but your self-sacrificial act caused him to focus upon yourself. So I'm going to give your next character. He'll start at level 6, so 14,000. You can start it at 14,500. I'm going to give you a starter bonus for the self-sacrificial act.
Woo! Okay. And yeah, so I'll just basically like make haste down the side of the hill and you know, I assume it's super steep, so sometimes like lose my footing and just keep going.
Yeah, as you kind of roll off the boulder, go ahead and roll a D100 for me real fast. Okay, just as you leave the boulder, a bolt of lightning strikes into the boulder behind you, scorching it even further black. But you make it out okay. As you roll down, you kind of toss and tumble and bust yourself into some rocks or so. Let's see. Do you want to go all the way to the bottom?
Yes, if I can. Yep. I want to head for the tree line.
We'll call it it'll be 5d6. First one for the boulder, and then each for each kind of tier you go down. Take 17 bludgeoning damage as you roll down.
Okay. Is that halved or regular?
It's halved actually, so it'll be 8.
Okay. And she'll disappear into the tree lines, and then hear a great. Dimitri will hear a great howl shortly after.
As the howl comes out, you see like a small flock of ravens scatter from the trees towards the northern part of the hill and fly back towards the north.
Yeah, I'll just kind of. I'd watch till she like makes it to the tree line, and just kind of go and sit down next to Elward and Serena, and just kind of keep an ear out for, Winrel again, and then just check. Maybe in a little bit, go down and check, because I don't want to leave Elward alone, but I know Serena's there, but Winrel's at least conscious and also a werewolf. So.
Yeah, Serena and Elward have bonded a few times. She's kind of keeping watch over him and kind of tending to the wounds, maybe patching up, putting like some gauze over his burns. But yeah. So some time goes by, and Elward, you wake up. As you arise, you notice that Serena is kind of cared for you. Your companion Jensen is laid upon a stretcher, a makeshift stretcher, and Dimitri probably looks a bit distraught. There's no sign of Winrel.
no? Did the monster kill Winrow?
No. The monster didn't kill Winrow. She ran off to be alone for a bit. I guess Aliquin, the one we lost in the house, is Winrell's wife. So she took it, and then ran off to be alone for a bit. I didn't want to leave you here with Serena by yourself, unconscious. But I think I might go head out and see if I can at least find her real quick.
Okay. Guess me and Serena will tend to Jensen, if anything.
Jensen's gone.
Looks at Dimitri, then looks at Jensen. And looks at Dimitri. Let's see.
For out of everybody that tried to damage Strahd, he was the only one that was able to do so, and Strahd took it as a slight and made sure that Jensen wouldn't do it again.
A fool. Also, always starting fights now. That'd be his last. Damn it. Damn it.
We'll have to keep his spirit alive then. Just start some random fights ourselves. You stay here with Serena, and
Perhaps we can make our way down. Maybe you can give me a hand with Jensen, Elbert, or one of your friends. I would rather not spend the night on this horrid place.
you want to? Oh, you mean go down to the tree line?
It may not be the best place, but it'd be better than resting here. The lightning is a bit troubling.
Yeah. Why don't we? Yes. We can take. Yes, we'll go down to the tree line where Winrell left, and then do a quick search. See if I can find her at all. How long's she been gone now? For about
Probably a couple hours at this point.
a couple hours now. Yeah. Yeah. So I would do that. I would help. You know, I'll help Serena with Jensen go down the hill since Elward just woke up,
Yeah.
and I think his puppets are both broken. So, and then once we get down there, I'll go look for Winrow.
Elward is as you're gonna make it down the Esther Hill. You get a spine tingling in your behind your neck, the back of your neck as you move down, but nothing else. Then we can move all the way to the tree line, and go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go to the tree line where I saw Winrell, and then look for tracks, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Give me a survival check.
Ha!
And Winrell, do you mind giving me I'm sure you're trying to stay away a bit. Do you mind giving me a let's see. I'll let you choose your skill. Whatever skill you think you would utilize to kind of stay away in the woods. You can use athletics, survival. Yeah. Maybe you kind of count the distance of the howl, Dimitri, and maybe you see a track or two. Maybe you even see like some bark ripped off a tree, but you lose the trail after like, kind of going in the woods for a bit.
All right. I guess I'll just call out after a little bit that we'll wait at the bottom of the hill. Like, just be like, call out, Winrow, we'll wait for you at the bottom. And then just kind of head back. Still keeping my eyes out. But I'll just head back to Elward and Serena.
Howard's gonna say that he forgot something up in the battlefield and he's gonna go up to collect it.
Do watch your step, okay?
No worries, I'll be fine. But not really, I have no puppets, but that's what I'm going to get. And I'm gonna go up and yeah, I know what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna definitely follow my intuition.
Okay. I'll take you to private chat real fast. So you follow the urge dragging you towards the cairn.
Yep.
As it pulls you, you get closer and closer, and you hear kind of the rumbling voice again. Who dares dig into my throne? They are not worthy. There's only one. But just sounds like the voice is getting a bit angry.
You said I was worthy, and I'm here to, and I'm following your call. Now you say that I'm unworthy.
As you say so, it's almost as if the voice responds. You see a few of the rocks, the kind of heavy rocks of the cairn, roll aside, and you see just kind of the very end of a shaft of some kind of metal weapon.
Are you granting me this weapon?
Nothing.
Okay. I'll stick my hand out and grab the weapon and yank it out.
You're able to pull it out, and you're instantly attuned. And I'll show you what this is. If you go into your magic items, player handouts, you should see a new magic item listed as Blood Spear. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. There you go. As you pull it out, you see kind of the mist to the west kind of swirl and churn a bit and kind of subside, almost like it moves rapidly for a bit and then settles down.
Nice.
I'll drag you back.
Okay.
Ram it deep down.
Exactly.
We came back when you said the wrong words.
Ram it back down.
That was deep down. Cram it deep down.
Oh, my bad. So, after a moment or two, you kind of descend back down the hill, Elward. What do they see?
So you see Elward still scratched and bloody from the battle, carrying both Irina and Ada puppets who are completely unoperational. Like they can't be used anymore. And you see Elward over his shoulder, holding it over his shoulder, and a bloody spear. There's no fresh blood, but there's a lot of blood stains on it.
A bloody spear?
Yep. It doesn't look like it's well made or anything. It looks very naturally made. just a large wooden shaft, and then with some branches sticking out, and a rock spear tip tied to the tip.
Did you say the blood looks fresh?
Nope. They're really dried up.
All right. Where'd you get that spear?
I got it from the battlefield. He called for me.
All right.
If it's still day out, then Howard's gonna drop his puppets and take a quick nap, wake me up when we're burying Jensen. Something goes on.
Well, we're going to take Jensen back to the vineyard and see if we can bury him there. Since he did really like wine, and it didn't feel right to leave him at this cursed hilltop. So,
Are you sure we want to leave his body alone? You don't know what happens in this land. Wouldn't it be better to burn it?
maybe it would be better to burn it, but we can burn it at the vineyard.
Sure.
Perhaps to take your rest, Elward. I can see that you're in a bit of pain. Winrel, though, she's more than herself now. She is a part of this land. She's helped me see that monsters can be more than just a monster. I think she'll find us when she's ready. Perhaps we should rest and then move out.
I think I'm more of a monster than she is. When you told me that Jensen died, I didn't feel anything. I think I'm losing my humanity the more I stay here.
Yes, this place is quite bleak.
But she might have the right idea. We might need some time. But it's fine. Let's go to the vineyard. I have no puppets and no way to defend myself with the spear, but I think I'll do fine.
So it took us a half a day to travel to here, right? Like a day and a half.
Almost a day.
Yeah, it was like a
Almost
little
all the
bit
way.
over a day. We'll go to this map. So it took it's like a day and like an eighth of a day, like 1 1/8. So we've spent probably half the day so far, kind of with all these events and the hours resting and stuff. So we would have about half the day left. Elward, you can take a short rest if you'd like. Do we want to travel today?
Like, I know Serena's right. It just feels wrong leaving somebody behind.
Yeah, it
What
totally
are we leaving
does.
behind? Winrow?
Winrow.
She's probably closer to the vineyard than we are. But yeah. What time of the day is? I know can't see the sun, but
It's about midday, a little past midday.
we could try getting as much ground as possible. But we shouldn't go around at night with our low numbers now.
Perhaps we travel a little bit and then try and find a safe-ish spot to bed down for the.
Okay. So we head out. We have to travel a bit slower, but we were able to go a couple hexes. we'll say 3 hexes instead of 4 for a half day. We wrote a bed down, and as we're headed to the vineyard, I need a random encounters roll from Elward. Do you mind rolling a d20 for me, please, Elward?
Sure. Let's roll these hit dice real quick.
I expended some hit dice for Serena. And in the meantime, Jensen or Dave, do you want to control Serena?
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
So after these few short rests that have been happening, would it be cool if I like expended short wind a couple?
Yeah, that's fine to me. You can do it every short rest. You probably could have done it twice.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh no.
Alrighty.
Not all random encounters are bad encounters.
Oh no, that is a random encounter. Roll a d12 plus a d8 for me, please. I didn't know what you had said oh no to until I saw
A d12 plus a d8.
1 d12 and 1 d8, yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'll need a watch order. Serena will offer, since she's an elf, she'll take 1 and 2. So you guys choose 3 or 4. Elward and Dimitri.
Go for.
Okay, Elward, as you kind of are on your watch this night, this dark, kind of cruel night, or you were really wishing to feel more, but you just don't feel enough. You look down the path. Maybe just you kind of get the hint that maybe Winrel is nearby, or maybe it's just hope. But several hundred yards away, through the fog, you see a flickering torchlight, kind of coming down the path.
I wake the party and tell them that there's something coming down the road.
This is like middle of the night now.
Middle of the night.
Who would be traveling this late at night? These dangerous woods. Unless they're dangerous.
My thoughts exactly. I would be ready for a fight, but let's try to avoid it if we can.
You see Serena at ready, but as you kind of look out, it's like the torchlight doesn't seem to get any closer, and it kind of blinks and flutters out. Uh, uh, After a moment or two, maybe kind of Serena looks. What did you see again? You said you saw something approaching.
Yeah, flickering torchlight.
Perhaps you had your head just hit a little hard. I think I'll be heading back to sleep now. Neither of you see the light at all. What do you do, Dimitri and Elward?
Let me just. Maybe they're not coming down this way. Maybe they went somewhere else. Just keep an ear and eye out, and wake me up if something else happens. And I'll go back to sleep.
Elward, as you kind of look out, it's almost as soon as Dimitri goes back to sleep, you see the torchlight once again kind of flickering about 100 yards down the path, kind of dancing around as it moves its way towards you.
I'll have my spear ready and just stare it down, but won't go closer to it. I'll be staring at. And then as soon as I get a beep in my head, that I feel this overwhelming power of necromancy, I kick Dimitri and Serena again.
As you wake up your friends again, they look shocked.
What is it?
There's necromancy up ahead.
What is the torch still visible?
You don't see it.
It's similar to when I saw the imp when we were in the cold space. I believe I ascertained a particular set of skills, and only I'm able to feel this magic. I'm gonna point to my spear where I'm seeing the magic, and I'm gonna ask Dimitri to fire a shot at it.
Right. So you're just pointing in a direction.
Yeah, I'm pointing to where I see this flickering light.
Yeah, it'd be like down the path.
Maybe not even at it, just fire a warning shot.
Sure, I'll fire a shot. I'll even fire a shot like at it.
Sure,
I mean,
go for it. It'll just be a disadvantage.
you said a couple 100 yards too, right? So it's like disadvantage anyway.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Where were those when I was fighting Strahd?
As you fire your shot out, you see it almost like strikes as if it like a bit of flint and tinder struck, and a spark of light goes off. You see this torchlight flickering furiously, and it moves into the woods and disappears. And yeah, that'll successfully end this encounter.
Nice.
Dimitri and Elward, you both get 225 experience.
Will-o-wisp. It's never just torchlight.
Never.
So wait, did they actually kill it?
No.
Flute weight.
But he
Oh.
actually did hit it with an AC 19 at a disadvantage.
Even the Will-O-Wisp was counting the numbers, and they're like, "No."
The Will-O-Wisp is like, nah, I'm safe way out here. Blah!
Dang, that's an interesting encounter. Cool. Yeah, so that's that random encounter. The next day is here. Winrel, I know this maybe not. It may not influence you, but go ahead and roll a d20 for me for random encounters.
Then I'm not sure how far away you actually are from us, but that gunshot's pretty loud.
No. Oh wait, it's daytime. All right.
Yes, but we're on
In the woods.
We're in a non-trail, a non-road.
Yeah.
I mean,
I need a d12 and a d8.
Monroe's like, I'm not here, but take care of my mess.
Dave, I'm gonna leave Serena in your hands, man. Feel free to react however you think Serena would react to the situations. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
figures we're not even at full strength. This is when all the random encounters.
When we have our whole party, we're good. 3 people. Random encounters. Ooh, that's real. DF.
Yeah, I just wanted to roll it to see what it did. It's just called fudge.
D fudge. Stop.
Okay, that one already occurred. It can't happen again.
The Will-O-Wisp is back.
This time it has friends.
It's like, where do you go off just shooting random balls of light?
Well, you're pointing at it, and I figure if it's a torch, it will scare whoever's holding the torch. Usually people don't hold torches right in front of their face, so,
Since you rolled it, I'm gonna still let you roll a 1d100 for me, Winrel.
23 gold. Let's go.
Oh wow.
23 will-o-wisps.
As you kind of move down the trail this day, you get ready to turn to the left through the shortcut into the vineyard. But as you're going down the way, you notice something kind of catch the glint of your eye. It catches your eye, maybe, Elward. It's near the stump of the tree where that that wildling was kind of hanging out. It looks like the glint of silver. You want to check it out?
Who found it first?
Elward.
Oh, I found it first. Well, we need everything we could get, even if it's just silver. So, yeah, walk towards the flint of silver.
As you kind of get to the tree and you look down, you see a set of silverware, almost good enough for a king to use. In fact, it looks like a silverware used for a dying king's last meal.
Interesting. I'm gonna first take out my mask and use detect magic and look around to see if there's anything weird going on.
No magic at all.
All right. I'll look left and I'll look right, left and right, and then I will grab it and prepare for the worst.
You're able to grab it, and as you pick it up, you hear hoofbeats, heavy fast horse hoofbeats, kind of running down the trail. And what we see is a rider atop a gaunt black steed with looks like a humanoid kind of draped across. And with that, we'll take a break.
Does the humanoid look familiar?
Does not.
Good, it's not Winrel.
Cool, cool. Oh no, that is not the right map. As you kind of pick up the silverware and you look down the path, you hear these heavy horse footsteps just trotting down the path with good bit of speed. You look to your left towards the kind of the shortcut to the vineyard, and you look towards the path. You could dart now, but your curiosity gets the best of you. As an elven figure dressed quite regally strides up, he rears his horse, and you see an elegant, kind of pale-looking elven woman, quite pale for a dusk elf, but still dusk elf. And I'm going to give a quick blurb to, Nisa. Nisa. How do you pronounce your name, Dave?
Oh, Nija.
Nija. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I should have known that. Anisha, you're coming from your camp or your community because the wine had dried out, and as the Dusk Elves really depend upon the Vistani for a lot of their needs, and the Vistani super depend upon their wine, this is becoming quite a serious issue. So, as kind of a delegate sent out to the vineyard, you were sent to figure out what's going on and try your best to get it solved. But along the way, you saw an elven rider kind of rushing from behind. naturally assumed it was friendly, and they weren't approaching any hostility. But as it got close, something just penetrated your inner mind. You heard the screams and cries and death calls of thousands and thousands of souls dying upon a battlefield, and it was too much to your mind, and you passed out. And we find you riding atop this, kind of straddled across the horse as this elven figure rides up to the rest of the party. So I still have control of Serena, Dave, but Nisa is now in the picture as well. Do you mind describing, Nisha, as they approach? You see the elf kind of gingerly get down off the horse and gingerly place you alongside the path.
Yeah. So what you see is you see a very pale skinned elf or half elf woman, probably in her late 20s, early 30s. Um, Very pale skin, um, platinum white hair, and very kind of pale gray eyes. The look of her kind of is it. She's a bit off-putting because in the wrong light or the wrong location, you might have if you ran into her in a dark alley, you might have confused her with like a ghoul or something. Like she had not because of the demeanor, but just because of just how kind of like ghostly pale her skin is. She is wearing what looks like maybe was at one point a very nice dress, but just kind of has through the wear and tear and the rough life of Barovia. Barovian life just has kind of been worn down and is a bit torn up and things like that. Um, and Yeah, fairly light, kind of like lithe figure. um and she, again, if she took better care of herself, might be very beautiful, but kind of just looks like somebody who's gone through kind of a tough time.
Excellent, thank you, man. Um, Indeed, as the dusk elf kind of gingerly puts Nisha down to the ground, he turns back towards the rest of you and takes a bow. Esteemed guest of our honored lord, I do not mean to hold you, but I have been sent on a wayward task, and I chanced upon you, and I did not want to miss this opportunity. For I believe that foolish Casimir, perhaps his ramblings were nothing, well, perhaps they had a bit of truth to them. I thought it was just a madman's cries in the night, but it is good to meet you. I am Rahadin, of the Dusk Elves, of Barovia, servant to our lord. This is what he looks like. Yeah, Nisha is kind of looks unconscious upon the ground.
And by your lord, I assume you mean Strahd?
Yes, and before him, King Barov.
Well, excuse us if we're not really big fans of your lord, or really. So, what are you doing here, and what do you want from us?
Well, the last chosen, the last king of our people. He was a match for my blade. Others have entered this land, and Casimir have claimed they are the chosen, but none have lasted. I would like to put this to a theory, as not many of our kind, and especially the female kind, are allowed or receive the grace of our Lord to walk this land. Maybe a bit of a friendly duel, just to test if the musings are just calls of a madman, or perhaps a bit of truth to it. Would you please accept my challenge, dear chosen one? And he kind of gestures towards Serena.
Serena will kind of with the bow knocked and the arrow still very much pointed at this person. She doesn't quite kind of give up the defensive posture. She'll spit. She'll kind of like spit in his direction and be like, "I have nothing to prove to you."
I see. Alas, perhaps the opportunity will rise again. It is, a bit rude of me, but I will have to ask a favor. My, friend here, relative of sorts, was headed to the vineyard. She is not feeling so well. You mind escorting her? I believe that's where you're headed. And he kind of gestures towards the shortcut. And honestly, without waiting for a response, he strides top his horse and rides back towards the north.
I was about to say, you're very trusting for people. Oh, okay.
He's also very rude. But yeah,
I guess I'll. Oh, is she awake?
she's unconscious. She looks unharmed. Looks like her belongings are still kind of on her person. Rodin would have placed her sacks kind of on the ground as he left.
I was just kind of like, I'll go over and like kind of cautiously, in case it's like some sort of trap. Yeah, but I'll walk over cautiously and like give her a bit of a shake, just to like wake her up. Try and see if I can wake her up.
Yeah, maybe as you kind of the first shake doesn't do it, but you kind of maybe get a little more aggressive with it. Nisha, you're able to wake up, and you see this kind of masked man standing before you.
Oh,
Oh, she'll start trying to back away, back away, kind of very, obviously fearful of what's going on in this.
yeah. I'll stand up and back up like a couple steps and put my hands up and be like, easy now. It's your I don't know who he was. He said your leader dropped you off here because you were headed to the vineyard, and that was after challenging my friend there to a duel.
Who are you? How did I get here?
Well, I am Dimitri, and that over there is Serena, and the other one is Elward. We are just adventurers stuck in this awful place. But you were dropped off by, what was his name again? Rolith?
Rahadin.
You were dropped off by Rahadin.
Oh, when she hears the name, she'll kind of spit as well. That filth laid a hand on me. How dare he? My brother will hear this.
He said something about what was the name again? Casimir? Kashmir? I don't know. He said some name that he is a fool or something, and then tried to challenge Serena here to a duel.
Yes, Casimir is my brother, leader of the Dusk Elves, my tribe.
Ah, okay. Who is this Rahadin?
A fool who would trust in the ways of the one he calls. A fool who would believe that following him would bring anything but death and destruction to all of us. He follows the will of Strahd, and thus follows the will of the destruction of my people.
Well, if you're looking for a group of people that hate Strahd, you will not find Strahd sympathizers here.
She'll look at you like kind of very curiously, like she's trying to, like very overtly, kind of like looking at the group of you, as if she's trying to kind of figure out, like kind of sort of like insight check and see if like, if she can take you at your word and what's going on, like what to make of this situation.
Yes, I know.
Well, for the moment, I find myself in your.
Well, you're welcome to travel with us to the Wizard of Wine. We're headed there now. It's a bit of going to probably be a bit of a somber mood. We lost a party member yesterday, and another party member has been uh, is in away in the woods. So it's a bit rough right now. But you're welcome to come with us to the.
You have my sympathies. The pain of loss is an old friend.
Yes, I'm really getting quite sick of it. But
As I am also headed to the Wizard of Wines. I shall accompany
yeah,
I shall accompany you at least that far.
yes, that's what Rahadin said as you were trying to go to the wine vineyard. What was I'm not sure I caught your name. What was your name?
My name is Nizia Belakovna.
Nesia. Well,
There you go. That was the last name, Velikovna.
well, Nesia, it is a pleasure to meet you. I know that's not something that probably gets said around here a lot, but you haven't tried to kill us yet, so it has been a pleasure.
She's pretty tight-lipped. You might witness like a tiny, like just like the edge of her mouth kind of curl up just a bit at the joke, but for the most part, she seems kind of, yeah, like, far be it for me to say, kind of resting bitch face. So
All
so
right.
she'll stand, and again, you get a good look of her. She's not the biggest person in the world. She's 5'4", 5'5", kind of, again, kind of a slender, lithe figure. The thing you do notice is that her dress, now that she's standing up, you see, like, it does have, it is a nice dress. It's very finely crafted, albeit through what looks like a lot of use. And the drape of her sleeves seems very exaggerated. So like they're very long sleeves that actually kind of cover her arms all the way past her hands, and so you'll see her kind of tuck her hands, kind of like tuck her hands in front of her, almost like she's holding herself, kind of thing. And she'll just say, "Shall we be on then?"
Yes. And then I'll go back and I think it was Serena was helping with
Yeah.
Jensen. So yeah, I'll go back and pick Jensen back up then with Serena.
As we move through the vineyard, Dimitri, as you kind of hold the magic seed in maybe one of your bags, it's like the branches, some of the twigs and the vines that are decaying and dying seem to reach out, grab just a little tingiest bit of color, and it's almost like they try to reach out towards you as they know that their life source is upon you. But as as you travel through the vineyard, you begin to spot something, several of you, something bright red. And then as it gets closer, it looks like a human of sort. And then it gets closer and it's a beast. It looks like a bloodied beast, a bloodied wolf. As you get closer and closer, you recognize this wolf. You see a bloodied form of Winrel lying upon broken brambles of several vines.
I'll put Jensen down and run over to her. And like, is she still breathing?
She is still breathing, but barely. She looks incredibly exhausted, incredibly hurt.
I'll start doing. I guess I'll.
Can you give me a wisdom save real fast, Dimitri?
Yeah. Not my strongest, but here we go.
Yeah, you feel a really strong compulsion to kind of ignore this, even though you don't totally don't think it's like for some reason you're not sure why you feel this, but you're like we gotta get to the vineyard. We gotta get to the vineyard. But you're able to kind of stave off the compulsion and continue on.
Continue on with Winrel.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna just do, I don't know, like take some like old like clothes I have and like, I don't have a medicine kit unfortunately, but start using some of the like rip up the clothes and start trying to bandage her up.
So as you like start to bandage her, she'll like open up one eye and look at you, and you can tell once you're dopping on her that a significant amount of the blood actually isn't hers. She is definitely wounded, but there's definitely blood from other things.
Yeah. I see you open your eye. I'll be like, it's all right. We're good. We're close to the vineyard. We'll get you there and to get you healed back up.
She just like she opens both eyes. She just stares at him.
I'll look at Serena and just be like, can you drag Jensen to the vineyard alone?
I'll do my best.
All right.
And you see Nisha standing there, and she stands there, kind of very matter of factly, looking both back at you and then back at Serena, arms kind of still crossed in front of her, hidden under her sleeves. Very matter of factly. You don't get the sense she's probably gonna help.
She is or isn't?
Oh, you very much get the sense she's not helping with this and whatever this endeavor is.
Okay. Yeah, and then after maybe patching Winrel up a little bit, like helping her to her feet, and then like helping her to the vineyard, like the actual house.
Yeah, I also put one arm under Winrow and use my blood spear as a walking stick.
Is she still in her half beast form, or was she in full beast and she converted back to human?
No, I'm still full wolf form.
Oh,
Full wolf.
All right, you get
yeah.
the front legs and I get the back legs.
Yeah, Nisha. You'll see Nisha kind of fall back, and she'll even you know this beast.
Yes, she's the companion that was lost in the woods.
Consider yourself fortunate. My tribe have come across many of these kind. They are often savage and without remorse.
Yes,
Savage is the norm in Barovia.
we met a group like that north of here near Lake Baratok. we ended up killing most of them. They were taking children prisoners. But this is Winral, and she's not like the rest.
Let us hope not. During the conversation about the wolves, you might have caught. I'm not sure who has the highest passive perception, but you might have. Oh yeah, you've got a pretty high passive perception. You might have when you said the wolves were taking children, you might have seen her flinch just like ever so slightly.
And then I'll kind of look at Nisa and be like, "Look, I know you're new and whatever, maybe not very trusting, but if you can grab the back half of that stretcher with Jensen on it, I would be greatly appreciated."
Yeah, all you've been doing is complaining since we met you.
And yeah, just start, helping Winrell along to the vineyard or to the house.
I too will hope, but my arms are very flabby, so it will take a little bit extra for me.
Can you give me another wisdom save, Dimitri?
Yeah. Failed this one. I feel it. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like you feel that compulsion again, like you really need to get to the vineyard, and so much so that you just kind of ignore whether or not anyone helps you with Jensen, and you just take it yourself.
Oh, I mean, I'm going with I'm helping Winrell, and then Serena's dragging Jensen.
Okay.
A little help would be appreciated here. This is kind of what Serena would say, and Nija will kind of just stare daggers at her, and you'll see her walk back to the stretcher and basically put like one finger on it, like very like F you.
But yeah, I'll kind of, I guess in that case, I'll be helping Winrell along, I guess, fairly quickly.
So it looks like you got Winrell. I'll go and help Serena. I'll like shoulder Nisa to get out the way, and then I'll pick up the stretcher and help Serena along.
And Nija will follow.
But when I shoulder her, it's not a very hurtful one because I don't have that much strength. I'm pretty sure Nisa has more strength than I do.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't bank on that. I wouldn't bank on that.
Or maybe we're equally at an 8.
Yeah, it's kind of like an ineffectual like shoulder nudge and a ineffectual trying to ignore it, but like actually gets like tip like like you see her stumble a little bit and you're like you weren't expecting.
I'm gonna give you guys each. You can each take 250 for that role play, as we kind of maybe a bit haphazardly make our way the final ways to the vineyard. As we approach, you see Davian Martikov kind of stumble out with his staff, and his daughter is there as well. Outside that, a few of the children kind of playing around near the vineyard too. But by the way, the number 9 was Red Dragon Crush. Number 3 is Purple Grape Smash.
I was right.
But
Yes, you were.
And I don't know what number Champagne de la Stump is, but maybe it's number. Let's say exponential. 3 times 9 is 20. Maybe it's number 27. But they rush out and they look pretty concerned, but they try to help you inside and to kind of give some healing care to your injuries. But Davian kind of speaks up. I did not expect you back so soon. It looked like not everything went so well. Uh, what what happened?
Well, we got there, and there were druids and wild men, like you said. They had built this large effigy of Strahd, and they were chanting around it, and it was pulsating energy. We started attacking and trying to stop whatever ritual they were doing to the giant effigy, and then the devil himself came out of the clouds, came down, and we shortly after, right after we had ended the ritual, he just attacked us and downed many of the party, and ended up killing uh, Jensen here. And then we got the gem, but yes, Winrel ended up getting lost in the woods. We found her in the vineyard, injured and extremely tired. Uh, and we also came across this from
He's
Niza. Let's go, yeah. We also came across Niza here. She was left on the road by someone. I don't know if he was a family member or whatnot, but he didn't seem like a very nice person. But he left her on the road for us to take here, and I'll like take off my bag and then hand him the seed and be like, "But there you go."
He kind of takes the seed and hands it to his daughter. Please, go take care of this. Plant it right away. You see him take his cap off and kind of hold it gingerly in his hands. I, I am sorry for your loss. This land has plagued many families, many friends. Jensen was a fine man, quite a large man. In fact, I wish some of my sons were as good of a men as Jensen was. Uh, my dearest wishes are to you all. Why is it that you have brought him with you such? Do you wish to bury him somewhere? Take him to a church? I hear the town of Alaki has a hollow place.
Well, funny thing is, he really did enjoy a good glass of wine. Not sure if you have anywhere here that we could lay him to rest.
Yes, yes, well, we bury most of our family out there by the great oak. We will bury him there as well if you wish. And Vince, in fact, we will dedicate the first crop from your labors to him. It will be Ginseng Crush, number 2.
Nice. I'm sure he would like that very much, and once it's made, I'm sure we'll all enjoy a glass or several in Jensen's name.
Indeed. It is getting a bit late. Perhaps we take care of the preparations. I will send, I think, one of my sons still here, moseying about. I'll get him to help you with the burial. And tonight we'll have a bit of a feast of the meager things that we have here. I wish we had wine, but we are now out. Hopefully the seed will cause them to grow quite quickly, though. And we'll have wine again soon.
That would be very appreciated. I hope the seed does take quickly, because I need a glass of wine. But your hospitality is greatly appreciated. We are all quite tired from the road. And Winrel here does need quite a bit of rest and some.
He kind of ushers you in, and as he kind of gets to Nisha, he kind of looks up suspiciously. Daughter of, oh, the half-elf. What brings you to these parts? Your brother come to ask for some wine?
I believe you've dealt with my brother. We have business. May we speak privately?
Certainly. As you see, there's many things happening, but 1 second. Let me send Dag out to start with the grave, and I will be right back. You see him kind of make living quarters kind of available for you all, and send Dag out to start working on the grave. But he comes back, and yes, and he kind of pulls you over to maybe the shed and or not closes, but like kind of pretty private space for this vineyard. What can I do for you?
Yeah, and she'll have she'll just have a brief private conversation
Oh
about
yeah, of
being,
course.
being, just in interest of brevity, just why she's here, why her brother sent her, and sort of the issues they're having with the oh shoot, I'm sorry, I completely spaced on the name, the nomads.
Oh, Vistani?
Yeah,
We'll play the
just
conversation.
and just some of the issues I'm with it. So some of the interact the more recent tensions with the Vistani. So she'll have a quick conversation there.
He listens quite. He's a good listener. He listens to Nisha get it all out, and kind of nods and approves. And at the end, he says, "You and everyone else, sister. But yes, I understand. We will get wine to Casimir and the Vistani as soon as possible. Half price on the first shipment. My apologies for the delay. It is late. You're more than welcome to stay with us. If you wish to attend the burial, you're welcome as well. It seems that the group there has taken a liking to you. So why not? It's about time the elves stood up for themselves again.
Not elves. She the only thing that they'll hear as kind of a parting comment is you'll hear her kind of turning and walking away, and you'll see her kind of turn over her shoulder and say, "Not elves, elf," and then you'll see her kind of make her way towards one of the rooms that was.
After a bit of time passes, maybe we all kind of clean up a bit as best we can, and kind of clean our weapons and stuff, and settle down for the night. We have a very meager meal, honestly. It's just basic rations and no wine, unfortunately. Davian kind of kind of asks you for more finer details about what happened on Yester Hill, kind of nodding and shaking his head. Um, but when it's getting just towards kind of the end of the evening, kind of turning to the night, the dark, the kind of the last bit of light, mist, light in the day, you head out to the top point of the vineyard where this great oak tree is on the northern side, and there's a fresh grave. Perhaps Dimitri and Serena drag his body up on the scaffolding that we've built.
Is Winrel awake?
You're all awake.
I didn't. I just wanted to make sure, like, Winrel was up and moving around because she would want to be part.
Yeah, indeed. And at this point, the Mardikovs look to you all to see what you do next.
Yeah, so when they showed us the room to rest, did we get to rest at all?
Oh yeah,
or-
you could have short rest for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then I'll have, like, while resting, change back into person and heal myself up.
Do you want to say any words over him?
Jensen was a very good man. He, I don't know, he was a bit rough around the edges, and to be quite honest, I didn't really like him when I first met him at the Half Pint Inn, but he really did grow on me, and I think underneath his gruff and, just this tough exterior lies the heart of a true hero, and someone who really cared.
Winrill will just be like looking at the ground. And just say, may Saloon look over you.
Or step up.
What?
Sorry, Mike's acting blue. Elward's gonna walk up to the hole, and he's going to take the broken polyester faces of Irina and Ada and throw them in there. And then he's gonna take off his mask and throw it in there as well. And then he's gonna mutter a few words. And he's gonna turn around, and then when he turns around, you see Elward's face. It's his face, but on his forehead is a third eye. And yeah, and then he just goes back into where he was standing, and closes his eyes and looks, tilts his head down.
You see the Mardikovs notice this and look pretty shocked. You kind of hear maybe one of them kind of mutter underneath their breath, "The three-eyed raven."
When Nelward was finished with his tribute, Serena would step forward, kneel down, and just grab a handful of the loose earth, stand up and hold it in a clenched fist, kind of above the open grave, and she would just say, "I didn't know him as long as all of you, but there was no one I would trust more to watch my back. And in the end, I couldn't watch his. But I will avenge him." And she'll open her hand and let the earth kind of just slowly fall as it hits the top of whatever kind of loose casket we have built.
Davian follows suit and kind of drops some earth into the grave as well, and the Mardikovs kind of take note and do as well. Davian looks to you. Any last words? And then he gestures to Dag to kind of start filling in the hole. You see Davian kind of had a box nearby, and he goes and picks it up and brings it to you all. And it's actually a wooden chest. I know they cannot replace a friend, but it's a way of saying thanks for all you've done, and all I'm sure you will do. It was to be my son Erwin's inheritance, but he's certainly not getting it anymore. I hope this can serve you well. He opens it up, and there's some coinage, as well as a few flasks of liquid, and one gray bag, and he kind of explains what each are. Its total is 140 electrum, 70 platinum, 2 elixirs of health, 3 potions of healing, and a gray bag of tricks. So here is what the elixir of health does. If you find yourself, well, I'd say cursed by those Vistani or something else, and you cannot get rid of it, this will help you. It's a bit stronger than Irvine, but more curative. These are, well, if you look like you did yesterday, or earlier today, you might want to use one of these. And he shows you the potion of healing. And then last, he kind of pulls out the bag of tricks. Well, this was a bit of a personal joke for my son, but maybe you can find some humor in it. And he gives that to you. It's a gray bag of tricks.
Huh. Well, thank you very much. These, we will definitely make use of all of these, at the rate we're going in the very near future.
I thought as much, but hopefully they are useful. Now we get some rest. I know it has been a long time. We will watch over you tonight. Enjoy your sleep.
Yes, thank you again for the rooms and the walk.
It is our privilege. So yeah, you guys can rest over the night. Take your long rest. Benefit from the long rest. No random encounters this night. As we wake up in the morning, we kind of see outside or step outside for some coffee or something. You notice that a good portion, over a third of the vineyard, looks to be alive again. Almost if it was been flourishing for not just hours, but weeks and months. A whole portion of 1/3, at least 1/3, if not more, of the vineyard is alive once more.
Wow, that is quite the gem.
You notice that it's definitely the cheapest of the grapes, but still they're grapes.
Still, overnight is nothing to scoff at.
That sounds like a lovely morning for this mist-covered land.
Man, sounds ominous.
So, as we wake up in the morning with one gem in, an invitation to Castle Ravenloft itself, perhaps passage finally into Crake. A lot of options. Do we want to decide on a path?
Well, we did all this to get into Crake. Should probably head there next.
Serena kind of looks over to Nisha. I know that you seem to bear a ill will towards Strahd. I think that in this struggle against him, We've been trying to make allies where we can. Sadly, we've only made a few. If you'd be willing, perhaps we can work together and quench our rage in unison.
Well, yes, we're trying. We have also been trying to make. Oh, sorry. Was it Serena?
Serena speaking to Nisha, yeah.
Oh, okay. Get confused for a second.
She'll Nisha will kind of slowly lower her cup to the table and kind of look very sharply at Serena. I have known loss at the hands of Strahd. It weighs heavy on my heart. If you are going to destroy him, then I would gladly call you an ally. But make no mistake, if it comes between saving you and destroying him, I would gladly sacrifice every one of you to ensure his soul is destroyed.
No worries, we are not strangers to the odd behaviors and odd opinions of such take, but I will tell you, I took the calling of monster slaying long ago, and whatever we must do to slay such a monstrous Strahd, we must do.
Then it appears, for a time, our priorities are aligned. Strahd used to frequent the Dusk Elf village just outside of Barovia many times. He has left his mark on our people, and it's a mark that cannot be forgiven.
And you mean the uh, the village of Barovia, or your land is outside of this mist?
Our village would be past the Savlich Woods.
Well, yeah, the old Duskelf village would have been probably somewhere to the north. I don't know. It doesn't actually give a good. I'll just say it was to the north of like all this empty land out here, north of Castle Raven.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But it's now like
I
it's obliterated. Dusk Elves now
Yeah.
live west of Vallaki in the Vistani camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Our ancestral home is no more. Left to ruin. Our people diminished to the point of extinction. My sister, she was taken from me. And you'll see, you'll she'll as she says the next line of I'll have my revenge. You'll see her get, like, it's almost like there's a breeze kind of passing through, like an invisible breeze kind of passing through the dining room area that you guys are in, and you almost got, you almost swear you see a bit of her hair kind of moving in the wind, and her eyes getting a little like bluer, almost igniting with power as they kind of like settle and calm, and she kind of untenses her body just a little bit.
Yes, I believe most of us, if not all of us here, have suffered loss, either at the direct hands or because of Strahd. And if your goal is to end this devil, then I think we can be allies.
And Nija will give you kind of a slow nod as she takes a slow sip from her warm.
I do vote that we visit back to Crake, as I have a bit of business I wish to take care of there. And honestly, I am concerned for the children. I'd like to see what their well-being is like now.
Yes, I do have some business I need to take care of in Craig. I need a, if we can spend a day or two or even 3 maybe. I need to spend some time at the blacksmith. Need some more ammunition. I am very close to being.
So, is anyone opposed to going our path being headed to Crake?
Nope.
Nisia, just for sake of brevity, Nisia will be following along, telling, letting Davy know that she'll be back soon, on behalf of Casimir, and but she'll tag along, and then I need just a super brief AFK for the baby.
Yeah, no worries. We'll call session here as we make plans to head towards Crake, and I think that's a good stopping point. Yeah, we had to kind of reap our reward finally of gaining entry into Crake. We'll pick up with that next time.
But at what cost, guys? At what cost?
Jensen.
I mean, let's be real. It's not like he didn't have it coming. It was very much Tony Stark and Thanos. Let's be
I'm
all
just
that for a drop of blood.
I'm just extremely worried because I landed a critical with silver bullet and nothing.
Probably because it wasn't magical.
It is magical. It's magical and silver.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, you have magical bullets? Like enchanted bullets?
Oh, well, when you like the gun itself is magical, which is, I think usually if you have like a magic bow, the arrows are
yeah.
magic.
No, I think
Yeah,
Good point.
Let him will tell us. I'm always confused with that. Is it the ammunition or the weapon that has to be magical?
Either or. So
Okay.
if you fire ammunition from a magical weapon, it counts as magical as for overcoming immunity or resistance. Or if you fire magical ammunition from a non-magical weapon, it would still count as overcoming immunity or resistance. And nothing is immune to magical weapons. Not that I know of.
Because you said Strahd took no damage.
He didn't take any damage. You saw the wound and it immediately healed back up.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the fact because it's still magical piercing damage, right? So maybe it was the piercing damage that he was resistant
Maybe
or.
temp HP. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
A temp HP or I don't know. I was gonna say a damage threshold, like you have to go above a certain amount because I didn't do a ton.
Yes, sort of like the heavy armor feat, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, because I did 8, so maybe that didn't go over as like I don't know. I'm not even sure if things in 5e have that. At least monsters. I'm sure if monsters have that.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess without actually ever having seen the character card, I'm my money's on False Life is my guess. So I think Pie Guy was right. It was probably some temp.
Yeah.
Or not, it's just fucking with you.
What'd you guys think of the first encounter with Strahd? First real one.
I should have died.
Actually, much way more nervous of Strahd now than I was at the beginning. I really thought I was going to be able to at least do. I didn't think I was going to be able to kill him, but at least do some damage. And then I hit him with a crit and did nothing. And I'm like, oh damn. So
Yeah, the Yahtzee bin fight, he just had like, he was annoying, but he had relatively like normal attacks. But the Strahd, he's a spellcaster and he punches you. Scary guy.
Well, then the Yancy bin fight, we were just. I mean, this fight too. We were fighting from the
final bosses.
We were fighting from the back foot in both of these fights. So
it'll be interesting to fight a spellcaster final boss if we make it.
Yeah, fireball, fireball, fireball,
fireball, fireball, fireball.
Yeah, and this is still a bit of a testy grounds, you know. Still wasn't really full power or going all out, but
yeah, no environmental actions or anything. I'm sure he's like twice as strong in this castle.
Yeah, he could straight up just murdered us right there. Like my gun was jammed. I have daggers, and then it was just Serena after that. There's,
Just didn't have something, I would have died.
yeah, for real, he was going for you. I tried to be as fair as possible, and essentially rolled to see if he would intentionally choose, and he would not when it came down to between you and Winrel, and I just rolled, and he happened to roll you randomly, and then when Jensen hit him, I rolled again to see if that would be enough of a like slight for him to refocus, and it was high enough.
It also made sense story-wise because I looked pretty weak just being under that whole person the whole time.
Oh yeah. Well, he doesn't see any of you as a threat. It was more just like causing you pain for causing him pain.